respected dignitaries on the dais, all the people present here, very good morning to each and everyone. The discovery of the sea route to the India led to the colonization of our prosperous country. Europeans who came to the trade with India ruled our nation for more than 400 years. Indian freedom struggle is divided into 4 phases. The first phase was called as moderate period, which advocated trade, petition, and protest methods in order to attain their specific aspirations. The second phase, that is the Gandhian era, which showcases our Indian freedom struggle, is the most glorious and unforgettable phase. During this period, we traveled from the violence to the non-violence under the able leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. The post-independence phase, that is the third phase, which depicts the remarkable progress made by the country with a rolling success in the every field. Be it our constitution, our democracy, our research and our achievements, which transformed every Indian to be proud of its nation. The present generation, that is, you all my dear young ones, you will be the contributors and the spectators of the future India, which will be the witness digital education, artificial intelligence in all walks of the life. Thus India making a supreme and super powerful nation. Let there be a freedom in your mind and body, faith in your work and pride in your soul. Let all salute our nation. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Civilization that is more than 5,000 years old and boasts of multiple cultural origins. India was the richest country as described by many invaders who grabbed most of our wealth. India attracted people from all around the world for its spices, silk and cotton textiles. It was also a rich producer of gold and diamonds.
There are many shops here selling valuable products at affordable costs.
We are self-sufficient in every product. We are not depending on anyone. We are hard-working people.
A sea route connecting Europe and India came into limelight in 1498 when Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama came to Calicut. This made India the center of attention of Europe's trade circle, and European powers rushed to India to get their own trading posts.
Hello friend, how do you do?
Hi, I'm fine. What are you doing?
We are very busy exploring new seas across the world.
New sea routes? Which country's sea route did you discover so far?
My country navigator discovered sea route to India.
Could you give me that map, dear friend?
Yes, sure, please take it.
I will sell this map to the trader to earn money.
The British East India Company was formed in 1599 under a charter granted by Queen Elizabeth I in 1600. They landed in the Indian subcontinent on August 24, 1608 at the port of Surat. I want to see Britain as prosperous country.
Her Highness, it is not impossible. We will occupy the richest country, India.
Yes, Your Highness, this map can help us.
Excellent. William Hawkins, here is the permission to carry on trade with East India Company.
Let me travel to Agra to negotiate consent for a factory from Emperor Jahangir.
Mughal Emperor Jahangir granted a firman to Captain William Hawkins, permitting the English to trade and establish factories all across the Mughal Empire.
Thank you, my lord, for giving us permission to trade with your country.
A number of trading posts were established all over the east and west coast of India, and British countries developed in 3 major travelling towns, Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. The company realized that India was one big collection of provincial kingdoms and started to meddle in Indian politics and started to see a steady rise in their fortunes. Under these circumstances, Indians witnessed miserable conditions. Heavy taxes were collected and forced labor was introduced. on India was the defeat of the Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowla, at the hands of Robert Clive in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. It was followed by the Battle of Buxar in 1764, in which the last Mughal emperor, Shah Alam, was defeated.
The revolt of 1857 eventually broke out over the incidence of greased cartridges. Both Hindu and Muslim sepoys refused to use them. Mangal Pandey was hanged to death on 8th April 1857. The revolt spread to entire India. The main centers of the revolt are the following regions, namely Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly and Gwalior.
Hey you, refill the rifle.
I don't want to use these cartridges as these are made with cow's fat.
You are the servant of mighty Britishers. How dare to oppose? Arrest them!
అయ్యో మంగళ పండే వీరమరణ ముంది మాడా అయ్యో భరతమాత ముద్దు బిడ్డ నెల కొరిగినాడా
మరి మన స్వతంత్ర సంగ్రామం ముందుకు ఎలా సాగిందయ్యా?
పిడికి బిగించెనురా వేగం హజరతు వచ్చెనురా భరతమాతకి ధైర్యము నింపెను సమర శంఖము పూరించెను తోడుగా వచ్చెను సమర యోధులు భరత జాతి ముద్దు బిడ్డలు తోడుగా వచ్చెను సమర యోధులు భరత జాతి ముద్దు బిడ్డలు ఇదిగిరిలో పదూష ఇదిగిరిలో పదూష ఇదిగిరిలో లక్ష్మీబాయి ఇదిగిరిలో లక్ష్మీబాయి భరతమాత సంఖ్యలను పెంచి భరత జాతికి స్వేచ్ఛనిచ్చిన ముద్దు బిడ్డలకు వందనం అభివందనం మన అమరవీరులకు వందనం వందనం అభివందనం మన అమరవీరులకు వందనం మన అమరవీరులకు వందనం మన అమరవీరులకు
Indian nationalism arose in the later half of the 19th century as a result of various factors. In 1885, the Indian National Congress was formed, which played a significant role. The Indian freedom struggle, the time period from 1885 to 1905, can be called the moderate phase. The leaders of this phase are called moderates.
Did you read news about leaders? They are going to write petitions to Governor General about our problem citizens. Is it? Who are they? They are moderates in our freedom struggle, whose ideology is based on the prayer, petition and protest.
I'm Eo Hume. I bring to your notice the importance of common platform to address common problem against the British, that is the Indian National Union.
I'm Nauroji. Sir, can you please rename our Indian National Union as the Indian National Congress?
Yes. Hereafter, the Indian National Union will be called as the Indian National Congress, INC.
Good morning everyone. I'm Umesh Chandra Banerjee. I'm very happy to preside first Indian National Congress session today. Our goal is to appeal to the Britishers to give consent to our demands. Our weapon is passive resistance. Shall we go to Viceroy's office to give memorandum tomorrow? Yes.
Moderates were successful in attaining the attention of Britishers towards their demands through prayer, petition, and protest.
What do you want?
Your Excellency, kindly give us an opportunity to come to legislative councils. Kindly conduct the Imperial Civil Service exam in India also.
Well, we will look into this matter.
My lord, the British administration is a blessing to India. Thank you for taking petition from us. Do you know that a new viceroy is appointed by our queen? Who is he? He is Lord Curzon.
Queen had sent me as the Viceroy of India to continue the British administration without any opposition from the Indians.
Yes, my lord, we'll continue our power over the Indians. But we have reports from secret agencies saying that there's a great unity among the Hindus and Muslims. Unless we divide them, we can't survive in this country.
What shall we do? Shall we implement our divide and rule policy?
Absolutely, Lord. We'll divide Hindus and Muslims by dividing Bengal into two parts.
Lord Curzon announces officially the partition of Bengal on July 5, 1905. The official version of partition was for administrative convenience. However, the real reason was to divide Indian society into Hindus and Muslims.
We had complete faith on British administration, but Britishers are weakening our nationalism. Yes, I'm the first ICS officer, but I was removed from my duty due to racial discrimination. We were silent, we had written petitions and protested, that's all.
We should start big movement with the name N.St.Mathew till Britishers roll back the partition of Bengal decision.
Yes, yes.
In 1907 session, the Indian National Congress saw the splitting of the party in two different groups. One group, called moderates, wanted to achieve their demands by peace, while another group in the Congress wanted to achieve their demands by force. But the ultimate aim of both the groups was the freedom of our motherland, India.
The period between 1905 and 1920 is known as the period of extremists. They were radical and militant in their approach in contrast to the moderates. Their main objective was to attain Swaraj or complete independence and not just self-governance. The most prominent leaders were Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai and Bipin Chandra Pal, who are collectively known as the Lal Bal Pal trio. The extremist phase came to an end in 1920.
At a time when India was struggling to gain independence and be free from the British Raj, Gandhiji, the icon of peace and non-violence, came to our country's rescue. We were no match for the mighty British. If the British Raj was a biblical Goliath, then we needed a David to save the sea. That David was non-cooperation, civil disobedience and satyagraha, and most of all, Satyameva Jayate, truth alone triumphs. Mahatma Gandhi arrived in India in the year 1915 from South Africa. In 1919, he gave a call to fight against Rowlatt Act, which curbed the freedom of expression and speech and strengthened the police powers. Dr. Saifuddin and Satyapal were deported, and the police gathered at Jallianwala Bagh to discuss about the request to be made for the release of the leaders. General Dyer heard this news and ordered his troops to open fire on the public. Let us now witness this incident.
England is so powerful. Its army and its navy, all its modern weapons. And when a great power like that strikes defenseless people, it shows its brutality, its own weakness. Especially when those people do not strike back. Back will not work. And that is why Mahatma begs us to take the course of non-violence.
सूरज गगन में जब तलक आबाद रहेगा,
सूरज गगन में जब तलक आबाद रहेगा,
ये जलियांवाला बाग हमें याद रहेगा। हर जुल्म से हिंदुस्तान आजाद रहेगा, ये जलियांवाला बाग हमें याद रहेगा, ये जलियांवाला बाग हमें याद रहेगा।
After the melancholy of Jallianwala Bagh, Gandhi ji called for a movement called non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement was launched on 4th September 1920. Gandhi ji asked the Indians to revoke their cooperation from the British government so that the British government would grant them self-governance. Gandhi ji asked the Indians to withdraw their labor from any activity that sustained the British government or the economy in India.
Gandhiji led a nationwide non-cooperation movement using non-violent methods. As a part of it, a few volunteers were protesting against the hike of prices, but the demonstrators were arrested. In response to this arrest, a protest was called on 4th February 1922 in a place called Chauri Chaura. While they were going to rally, the police fired on them. It is now not how the angry protesters reacted.
This prominent sense of non-violence, killing the police officers at Chauri Chaura, made Gandhiji very sad. He felt that the Satyagrahis must be taught the true meaning of Satyagraha. The civil disobedience movement was launched because of three reasons. The first was a commission was appointed by the British government to decide the political future of India. It was headed by Sir Simon, but the commission didn't have an Indian representative. This angered the Indians. The second reason was the Indian National Congress demanded for Swaraj during its sessions in Calcutta in the year 1928. The third reason was to oppose the arrest of important leaders. As a part of this movement, the Dandi March was launched.
Chalo. Mahatma Gandhi!
Had a sound echo in different corners of the country. The British, on the other hand, was becoming more and more unsure of their position in India. In September 1939, that is 2 years after Congress ruled in the provinces, the Second World War broke out. Critical of Hitler, Congress leaders were ready to support the British war effort. But in return, they wanted that India be granted independence after the war. The British refused to concede the demand. The Congress ministers resigned in protest. In the middle of the Second World War, Mahatma Gandhi initiated a new phase of movement against British called the Quit India movement. The same year, another heroic struggle was put by Indian National Army under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose, who organized a national army with Indian prisoners of war abroad and fought against British through armed attacks.
बहादुरों, विनाश ही मच चुका है, इस दुनिया में कुछ हासिल नहीं होगा। और आजादी की कीमत है शहादत। आज मैं आप सबको कॉल देता हूं, तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा। जय हिंद।
आर्टिकल 1942 नेशनल कांग्रेस की बैठक में गांधी जी ने कहा,
मैं मंत्रिमंडल में किसी से समझौता करने नहीं जा रहा, मुझे संपूर्ण आजादी से कम कुछ नहीं चाहिए। एक मंत्र है छोटा जो मैं आप लोगों को देना चाहता हूँ, करो या मरो। या तो हम अपने भारत को आजाद करेंगे या उस कोशिश में हम अपनी जान दे देंगे, परंतु हम अपनी गुलामी देखने के लिए जिंदा नहीं रहेंगे। आज से हमारा नारा होगा, अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो। भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय। अंग्रेजों अंग्रेजों वंदे वंदे। गांधी जी को, गांधी जी को, गांधी जी को।
After 300 years of servitude, 3 centuries of poverty and misery, 30 decades of economic suppression, we in India finally made it out of the dark. We won our independence not through force, but through the strength of our minds, through our wisdom and fortitude, through our grit and determination, through our perseverance and sheer will. We made our Bharat Mata proud. I am proud to be an Indian. Jai Hind.
यहाँ अपनी भी थोड़ी अदा थोड़ा अंदाज ऐसे है चाहे जैसे है, अरे जो भी है जैसे है पे हम नाज है। चलना हमको ये जमाना, चाहो तो हमको आजमाना। कहते हैं हम तो प्यार से इंडिया वाले, छूटते के हार से इंडिया वाले, छूटते हार से इंडिया वाले, छुटके छुड़ा दे हम इंडिया वाले। आजा आजा जिंदे शामी आने के तले, आजा गोरी वाले नीले आसमाने के तले।
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. Vande Mataram!
Day, Grandpa.
Happy Independence Day, Askam. Askam, do you know what her name means?
No, Grandpa.
It's Asgam, isn't it? It means Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Oh, is it? Grandpa, today we have flag hoisting at our school. Will you come with me? We have so many programs at school.
Yeah, sure, I would love to. But today, I want to show you how the real Independence Day was.
How is it possible to see, Grandpa?
With the present advancement in technology, we can definitely go to any point of time in our time machine.
Both go into the time machine and it rotates and stops in the year 1947.
Ascom, see, we have entered the year 1947. This is the month of August in 1947. This was the time of the British withdrawal from the 565 officially recognized princely states. Lord Mountbatten, India's last viceroy, released the last plan for independence, which was also known as Mountbatten Plan. It came into effect on 15th August 1947. As the clock struck midnight on 15th August 1947, there were celebrity shouts of freedom as India woke up to be independent with sweet notes of the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan into the speech Tryst with the Destiny by the first Prime Minister of independent India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
But it did not take long for the celebratory shouts of freedom to be drowned out by the cries of millions, making their way through the corpse-littered landscape of nascent India and Pakistan.
Oh, did they fight again after gaining independence?
Yes, Ascom, not only did we lose many people, but we also lost many leaders. Let me show it to you as a famous art form, Burra Kada.
Grandfather and grandson travel in the time machine from the year 1947 to 1970.
జయము జయము మన భరత మాతకు జయము దిగ్విజయము శత్రు వినాశము చేసేడి దుర్గా జయము నీయవమ్మ
అక్క ఈ రోజు నువ్వు ఏ కథ చెప్పబోతున్నావు?
ఏదో చెబుతుందిలే, మహారాజు కదో మరాఠీల కదో.
ఏందక్క ఆ కథలన్నీ పాత కథలే కదా, ఏదైనా కొత్త కథ ఉంటే జర చెప్పరాదా?
చెబుతుందిలే, గాబరా పడకు, కాస్త ఆగు.
ఈ రోజు మనం చెప్పుకోబోయే కథ 1947 తర్వాత మన భారతదేశ ముఖ చిత్రం ఓ వాస్తవ దృశ్యం.
ఇంతకీ ఏమిటా చిత్రం, ఏమిటా కథ?
ఇంతింతై వటుడింతై ఎదిగిన మన దేశ గణ కీర్తి కదరా. స్వరాజ్యం వచ్చిన ఏడాదికి మహాత్ముడే మరణించెరా. అయ్యో అయ్యో,
తర్వాత ఏమైందక్క?
అంబేద్కరుడే వచ్చరా, దేశ విదేశాలే తిరిగరా, రాజ్యాంగ రచనే చేపట్టెరా. ఇలా ఆ న్యాయ కోవిదుని కృషితో మన దేశం గణతంత్ర రాజ్యమై అవతరించే చూడు. ఆ విధంగా 1952లో మొదటిసారిగా భారతదేశానికి ఎన్నికలు జరుగగా చాచాజీ నెహ్రూయే ప్రధానిగా మరలా ఎన్నికయ్యారు. ఆయనే మన దేశానికి నాయకుడిగా అభివృద్ధి పదమే లక్ష్యంగా పంచశీలకు కృషి సల్పెరా, పంచవర్ష ప్రణాళికలనే నడిపెరా.
వినరా సోదర భారతదేశ విజయగాథని తోడు, గగనతలన విహంగమై విజయకేతన విగుడు.
ఆ తర్వాత ఏం జరిగిందక్క?
ఇంకేముంది చెల్లి, మన దేశమా మజాక.
స్వామినాథనే కృషి సల్పగా హరిత విప్లవం సాక్షిగా పంటల దిగుబడే పెరిగెరా. వర్గీస్ కురియన్ కర్తగా శ్వేత విప్లవమే తోడుగా.
బలానంటి బలితమ్ముడా సై మేలు బలానోయ్ తందాన, బలానంటి బలితమ్ముడా సై మేలు బలానోయ్ తందాన. తకిట తక తరికిట తరికిట తా.
ఓహో, సభాషక్క, భలే ఉందే మన భారతదేశ ప్రగతి.
అంతేనా? ఇప్పుడు ఏమైంది ఇంకా విను.
స్త్రీ ఓ ఆదిశక్తి, పరాశక్తి. స్త్రీ శక్తికున్న ఓర్పు, నేర్పు, ఆ దీక్ష దక్షతలు, ఆహా ఓహో, ఏమని చెప్పగలం, ఎంతని చెప్పగలం. ఇందిరాగాంధీయే వచ్చెరా, ఆవాసమే కల్పించెరా, ప్రభుత్వ బ్యాంకులెన్నో నడిపెరా.
మన భారతదేశానికి ఇంతటి ఘనత ఉందా? భలే చక్కగా వివరించావక్క.
మన భారతదేశం సాధించిన కీర్తి వైభవాలు ఆ చంద్ర తారార్కమై గగన వీధిలో ఎప్పుడు ఉజ్వలంగా ప్రకాశిస్తూనే ఉంటాయి.
మంగళం మన భారత మాతకు మంగళం, మంగళం జయ మంగళం, మంగళం జయ మంగళం.
Wow, it's so nice, Grandpa. They have formulated many plans for the development of the country. So are the wars over now? Did India become war free?
India, being a very big country with the largest population, 7th largest in area, it was really difficult. Bangladesh, which is also called East Pakistan, fought for the independence, taking support of India.
I am so upset, Grandpa. Is there anything else other than these wars?
Of course, an activist Sundarlal Bahuguna, along with many other men and women, led a movement called Chipko Movement, which had the main slogan, "Ecology is a permanent economy for conserving the forest in India." There were many advancements in science and technology. India tested its first nuclear bomb in the army base at the Pokhran test range. Operation Smiling Buddha was assigned to the code name Pokhran 1 on May 18, 1974. After this, a series of nuclear tests were carried out in 1998 under the name Pokhran 2. The Aryabhatta spacecraft, named after the famous Indian astronomer, was India's first satellite, which was made in 1975, had a mission life of nearly 70 years. India sent its first astronaut, Rakesh Sharma, into space in 1984 as a joint mission with the Soviet Union.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
ये मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
India successfully launched Chandrayaan in October 2008 to explore the moon. India's space journey has spanned 47 years and carrying over 120 satellites, namely Aryabhatta. India's first orbiter, Mangalyaan 1 in 2013 to EOS 4 in 2022. India has also plans to explore Venus and also have its own space station, where more astronauts could be sent into space using indigenous technology.
That's truly amazing, Grandpa.
While these advancements were taking place, the country also faced many emergencies. The then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi launched Operation Blue Star to get back control of the Golden Temple from the militants, and a state of emergency was declared in India 3 times. The first during the India-China War, where security of India was threatened. Secondly, during India-Pakistan War. Thirdly, emergency due to internal disturbances. In spite of all these disturbances, India still held its head high by hosting the first ever Asian Games in 1951, followed by winning the first Olympic bronze medal in Helsinki, winning the first Cricket World Cup in 1983, and hosting the Hockey World Cup for the first time in 1975.
So, Grandpa, India is a country of talent and hard work, right?
Yes, absolutely. But it also had its shares of disaster, like the Bhopal gas disaster, which was a leak of methyl isocyanate gas at the midnight of 3rd of December 1984 that killed thousands of people. Let me show you some more major disasters which occurred in India through a mime show.
Grandpa, India has suffered a lot during the British rule. But even after becoming independent, it really hasn't had its independence, has it?
Askan, life is always full of surprises. In 2001, the largest highway project was launched in India, connecting the 4 major cities called the Golden Quadrilateral. In 2009, Right to Education Act was passed. World Health Organization announced that India is free from polio. After a series of riots, Telangana received its statehood. Jammu Kashmir was given special status, and in 2020, the new national education policy came into effect, where child-centered education is given utmost importance.
Grandpa receives a call from home saying that grandmother is no more. They get into the time machine and travel back to 2020. The news on the television in the year 2022. Wuhan virus killed many people. It has spread all over India, even to the rural areas.
Grandpa, can we ever come out of this? Will there be a famine following this?
Indeed, we shall come out of it. Yes, I agree that Corona is the weakest moment of India. We have lost many of our loved ones, but we don't have to worry. As rightly said, we shall overcome.
Grandpa, you have shown me the Independence Day in 1947. Shall we also see the 2022 Independence Day celebration at the Red Fort?
Sure, let's go.
ये हम सभी का सौभाग्य है कि हम आजाद भारत के इस ऐतिहासिक कालखंड के साक्षी बन रहे हैं.
Today, as we celebrate 75 years of independence, having been through so many downfalls, yet we wake up to independent India, which is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Jai Hind!
Sector. We'll have sophisticated technology run through the solar energy, drone spraying or sowing systems, temperature and moisture sensors, aerial images, GPS technology with driverless tractors, and automation in irrigation, etc. Technology is transforming every aspect of our modern lives, and farming is no exception. The produce on your table will have gotten there faster, fresher, and more cost effectively. Thanks to leading-edge technology in agriculture, it will become even more computerized in the decades ahead.
Our next vision is in the field of education. By 2047, we expect to have bagless education with e-learning techniques, students assisted by laptops or tabs, digital learning system aiming at 100% literacy rate. Our new education policy ensures reverse brain-drain. That is, students from not only India but also from all over the world will come to pursue their higher studies here because of its quality education. Education is the foundation of development of any nation. citizens will have the ability to think beyond their stagnating lives and contribute to the development of their societies. Science was not merely an individual search for truth. It was something infinitely more than that if it is worked for the community. Ayushman Bharat, initiated by our Pradhan Mantri, Shri Narendra Modi, helps the families by giving access to healthcare service and also offers assistance for daycare procedures, including pre-existing illnesses. Yoga helps us to connect to nature, keep our mental and physical health intact. It makes the body more flexible and also develops a great sense of self-discipline and self-awareness. In economies, it is widely accepted that technology is the key driven of economic growth of countries. Artificial intelligence is the most important trend in technology today. The fact that we have created machines and systems that can think for themselves is truly astounding, and the trend shows no signs of slowing down.
The future of Indian politics lies in the hands of young, dynamic, smart politicians. The younger generation will play a pivotal role in changing the future of our nation. The politicians of the future will have a vision that would match the vision of our freedom fighters. Their ideologies would focus on development of the country as a whole and not individual areas as we have seen with our 5-year plans. The functioning of India as a democracy would be their only objective. Education will be the sole weapon to make our country one of the best globally. Indian politics will see a different phase for an ultra-modern India, an India that would be more happening and fast developing. The future politicians will be like jewels in a crown, shining brightly and leading India to greater heights of glory. The charismatic leaders will be a pride as they take over the realm of our mighty nation.
India is a land of serenity and tolerance, far from turmoil unless it has to defend itself from its enemies. A land that has never aspired for supremacy over another nation. But in defense, we have progressed to such a great extent that we are armed to protect our domain. Till date, the Indian Army is the third largest in the world. It is definitely going to reach the #1 position with its technology-dominated armaments, be it weapons, robots, fighter jets or tankers. Robots will be developed to protect borders, be it land or our oceans. The latest technological advances will prepare us to take on security challenges of the future. Our armed forces, the military, the air force and the navy will be equipped with the latest gadgets required for defense. The forces will definitely reduce territorial disputes that have been highlighted for many and many years and bring back peace. No country would even think of attacking our nation, as our defense forces will be well equipped and ready at all times.
The future of sports after the Olympics of 2021 has grown to a greater magnitude as the Indian youth has now begun to take interest in various other sports other than cricket. The recent Commonwealth Games in Birmingham stands testimony to the fact that our sportspersons have proved themselves, bagging 22 gold medals out of a total 61. The Indian sports stars have made us proud, but in future we wish to see our India stand first even in the Olympics with a vision to host the Olympics sometime soon. Our sports stars have been working hard to increase the medals totally over the years. India dreams of taking the world by storm by becoming overall winners in Olympics and Asian Games sometime soon. A country that is most devoted to cricket has realized its potential in other games and sports. It can clearly showcase the talent of our sports personalities in future.
An ideology that no other nation of the world has followed. Unique only to our country, India, it has proved time and again that every Indian values religious sentiments and there is no domination of one religion over others. Moving towards a complete secular state, unlike many other countries that doesn't favor a single religion, is India. With changing times, we need to focus more on the solidarity of our roots, as we are the children of this great country. Religious tolerance comes when we possess humane qualities, when we learn to empathize and live in harmony. Working for the welfare of our country and protecting our customs, traditions, dance and languages is what unites us as Indians. The future is golden when we focus on a discrimination-free society, irrespective of religion, caste, gender and status.
हमें गर्व है अपने विज्ञान पर, हमें गर्व है अपने विश्व पतंग वर्ल्ड कप पर, हमें गर्व है अपने नवयुग के स्टार्टअप पर, हमें गर्व है हर जमीन पर अपने देश का परचम लहराते हैं।
हम आजाद हैं, ये आजादी कभी छीनने नहीं देंगे। तिरंगे की शान को हम कभी मिटने नहीं देंगे। कोई आंख भी उठाएगा जो हिंदुस्तान की तरफ, उन आंखों को फिर दुनिया देखने नहीं देंगे। मुझे गर्व है कि मैं भारतीय हूँ। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
75 వజ్రోత్సవ వేడుకలలో బాలరమైన మేము రాబోయే శతకోత్సవానికి పౌరులుగా ఎదిగి దేశ ఔన్నత్యాన్ని, దేశ సమగ్రతను కాపాడి అభివృద్ధి చెందిన భారతావని సాధనకై పరిపూర్ణ భారతీయతను సాధించుటకు అంతఃకరణ శుద్ధితో అహర్నిశలు శ్రమించగలమని ఈ సందర్భంగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాం. We, the young citizens of India, promise to hold the integrity and decor of our nation and strive towards a better world.